Hello everyone, my name is Richa Rana and I take sessions on web availability, soft skills, personality development, business communication, professional communication for School of Lifelong Learning. Today I'm going to be taking a session on listening skills. As mentioned in the previous slide, listening is not something that you're born with. It is a skill that is acquired, it's a desired skill and a great skill at that. It builds trust, encourages problem solving, and it takes a lot of practice for one to understand somebody and give that comfortable atmosphere for somebody to relate their story to. So if you actually give out negative criticisms, if you turn it to a hostile atmosphere, of course, and if you're just listening, or if you're hearing, or if you're listening just to reply to that particular person, that is not listening as far as listening skills are concerned. It is one ability that is often and these days it has been sought after in most job markets. So listening skills is a very important skill which has been looked for by most of the companies, and such employees are being sought after. All the employers that are there in the market, most of the companies that walk in will look for these type of skills that are there for their management sessions. Now it builds trust and encourages problem solving, but it takes a lot of practice for you to understand and for you to gain that kind of skill that's there. To listen to somebody not for the sake of reverting is an absolute delight and skill, of course, as most of us understand. So in order for us to relate to somebody, in order for us to talk with somebody, we generally like to build an atmosphere, and we only like to speak with people who we actually feel most comfortable with. And of course that's one skill that. Okay, so it's more complicated than you think. Most people don't think about it, but listening has become a second nature to us. So it happens pretty fluidly and without one knowing that it has become a second nature to us. Good listening absolutely will entitle, and it will give you a lot of stories and a lot of life lessons, because they will enable people to speak more with you, to connect more with you, and to share their life stories with you and their memories and a lot of valuable lessons that are there. We were just talking about how listening is absolutely relevant in our common job culture or our work culture, and how people or how companies or employers are looking for workers who possess listening skills. It's considered as a very common skill set, but the part of skill set that listening belongs to is a super imperative one. Now, the ability to listen and to comprehend also allows workers to build a very strong rapport with co-workers, with managers, with clients. So it's important as a skill. Employers and managers have confidence in workers that can listen to instructions, follow through, and then do what is expected of them with minimum follow up. Minimum follow up is the key here. So if one worker is able to listen properly, go through the whole deal with minimal follow up, I think that becomes a very important skill, or an absolutely gainable skill. So good listeners have a better track record with their employers, because they can easily resolve problems with the customers or with whatever strata of society or whatever strata of work that they are currently dealing with. So that's another skill set that's there. Another thing that has been talked about in this particular slide is how to be a great listener. So as a mentor, you will tune into people. Where are they coming from? What are they trying to say? The art of listening requires that you prepare yourself, hold the focus, show that you're listening. Now, absolutely important, guys. As a mentor, you will have to deal with a lot of people. So let's say you've started working somewhere and you're leading a team, and there are a couple of people that are under you, and you're working with them in a team kind of atmosphere. So you have to understand where they're coming from, what kind of attributes they possess, and everything, in order to share a rapport with them, which we just talked about. So of course the employers and the workers and everybody share a better rapport if they listen to each other and they have a common ground that's there, right? So art of listening requires that you prepare yourself, you hold the focus, You show that you're listening. If you show somebody that you're absolutely listening to them, you value them enough to give them a good ear, of course they're going to be very comfortable with you, and they will share much more details, and you will have a better opportunity to work properly in the workplace as well. Now, workers who listen well tend to work better in a team based atmosphere as well. So the environment that's there in a team, the workers who are working or listen well tend to have a better job, or tend to do a better job in a team based atmosphere. They usually assigned a simple portion of work, and later when they complete the task, they will need to fit in with the other team members, and they talk about the other team members' work and the results as well. Those who are able to listen well and perform accordingly will find their work results fit better than the ones who misunderstood. So, listening here is also a very important skill in order for you to work and follow up with the work, because not everyone is trained intuitively to listen better. Most of us, we are given the physical trait or the physical ability to hear, all of us actually, and we develop as to what we want to listen to, or if we want to listen to, that is. So there are a couple of skills that are there which one can take up in order to gain those listening skills, which we'll talk about in the next slide. Research suggests that the way people deliver a message accounts for 93% of its meaning. Very true. Maintaining good eye contact, or maintaining eye contact, encouraging people to talk, reflecting back on what you hear, not interrupting, all of these accounts for all the listening skills that it caters to. And there's a very great quote given by Nancy Klein in her book Time to Think. Nancy Klein, as you know, she's pioneered the development of the thinking environment. She's a notable author. She is the founder and president of Time to Think, an organization, published author, a public speaker, and she's given off this particular quote that's there, and which is a notable quote: to help people think for themselves, first listen, and listen, then listen. So which gives us so much to think about. She is a public speaker, a published author. She teaches Time to Think courses, and leads the Time to Think faculty, and delivers keynote presentations all around the world. Listening also involves good body language, non-verbal communication, and it can give out many messages. Good body language can put someone at ease before you say anything. Smiling, nodding is a part of those gestures. An open, confident posture that's there. Sit upright properly, maintain a very common friendly posture, maintain eye contact but do not stare at that person. Maintaining proper eye contact while you're listening, nodding your head, smiling, and maybe saying and everything would make you a better listener, and would pass on the message that you're listening to whatever has been said effectively and efficiently. Now, whenever the speaker is saying, you're not supposed to interrupt the speaker. So you have to wait until he or she is finished, and then you may ask the questions, that whatever questions that you have, you are ready, or you are supposed to ask those questions later once the speaker is finished. If you're interrupting the speaker in between, that shows that you're not a proper listener, that you're not a good listener, because whenever you interrupt somebody, a certain train of thoughts get lost, and which do not come back, and of course your mind keeps on searching for them for a very long length of time, which is not a very good practice, and it should not be encouraged. Listening long enough may answer several of the questions without the need for asking. Now, this is another main point, that if you actually listen to maybe at for a particular length of time, and if you whatever questions that you had, they might be answered in the length that you're going to wait for the listener to maybe end the whole speech part. So your questions might be, you may even go without seeking answers for the questions that you were waiting to ask. So when the right time, or whenever there is a perfect time to ask, repeat whatever instructions that are there first, and then only ask the appropriate questions that are there. Body language, another absolute requirement whenever you're talking about good listening skills. So as much as possible, sit still while listening. So whenever you like jiggle or wiggle, or you kind of look here and there, the person who's speaking, his or her attention also strays. So make sure you're sitting still while you're listening to the person, because that shows your concentration levels and your seriousness towards the whole jazz. Give time to say what they want to. Avoid interrupting or finishing their sentence for them. It sends a message that you are more important, you know what they're going to say, or you are in a rush, which is absolute negative practice. So, how do you know when someone is truly listening to you? How do you know when someone isn't listening to you? You know these things by the pointers that we just discussed. There are a few more pointers which are there. So, accordingly, due to the positive body language that's there, how you can portray these positive body language, or how you can effectively maybe present yourself as a good listener. There are certain pointers, certain aspects, or certain tips that can be talked about here. So first of all, we discussed about how not to interrupt a speaker, how you can engage in positive body language, how with eye contact or bodily gestures you could actually engage so many people. So, controlling body language, sitting as still as you can while you're listening to somebody, paying full attention, undevoted attention to the speaker will absolutely make you a proper listener. A nod of the head can be good because it shows that you're paying attention to the person, you're being attentive to whatever that person is saying. Now, a good listener knows that being attentive to what the speaker doesn't say is as important as being attentive to what he does say. Now, what we understand by this thing is you have to look for all these verbal or non-verbal cues that are there, such as facial expressions or the body language or the postures, as to understand the full gist of what the speaker is talking about or what the speaker is saying. Now, there are certain things which you need to keep in mind while you're listening to somebody, because they get in the way, or they might get in the way of an effective listener. So, biases or prejudices that we just read about in this particular slide. So, bias or prejudice against the idea or the speaker. Now, this includes language differences or accents, which can be talked about. So do not let worry, fear, anger get in the way. Some people are resistant to change and can interfere with listening. These people are not great listeners, guys. Those with lack of attention span can have trouble listening. Make sure this is not related to the fact that it's someone else's idea being listened to. Workers need to be mindful of their reactions, of their postures, of their bodily gestures, everything. Now, familiarizing oneself with different types of listening can actually strengthen and improve the ability to critically think and evaluate what one has just heard. So, different categories of listening, I'm sure there's so many others that are there. They're four listed here. That's reflexive, external, intuitive, and holding silence. There are other different categories as well. So, there's appreciative, empathic, comprehensive, and critical listening as well. So, if we talk about appreciative listening, so whenever you are listening to somebody for enjoyment, so whenever you listen for appreciation, you're listening for enjoyment. So, for example, thinking about a music that you're listening to, so you listen to the music because you enjoy it. So you're appreciating music. So some common types of appreciative listening would be can come from places of worship, or whenever you listen to sermons, or maybe from a motivational speak, or from a particular public speaker that you listen to, or person that you hold high regard for, or maybe a stand-up comedian like Zaki Khan and so many others, or Kapil Sharma and all of those, or maybe let's say Jay Shetty. So any or all these Osho and Art of Living people. So Ravi Shankar and everyone. So that could be appreciative listening whenever you're listening for enjoyment. So it could be a music or a certain kind of music that you're listening to, or it could be any kind of let's say sermon or motivational speaking that you could listen to. So that's one kind of listening that is there. There's empathic listening. Then comes the empathic listening. So, whenever you're trying to get into somebody else's shoe, you're trying to understand what the speaker is going through while the speaker is speaking. that is empathic speaking. So when you're trying to understand the whole situation from the speaker's point of view, that's empathic speaking. And whenever you listen empathically, what you're doing is you're showing mutual concern that's there. And during this kind of or this type of listening, what generally happens is you're trying to identify with the speaker by understanding the situation that's there on hand, and you're basically stepping into somebody else's shoe to understand the whole situation that's going on. So during this kind of listening, what generally happens is you're fully present in the moment that's there in the whole situation, and you're mindfully listening to whatever the speaker has to offer. This is empathic listening, and you're absolutely taking the speaker's perspective. Now comes your comprehensive learning or comprehensive listening. So whenever you're watching any kind of news or active news, whenever you're going to attend a lecture, whenever you're listening to a lecture, or whenever you're taking directions from, let's say, you're going someplace and you do not know the directions to that particular place. So whenever you're taking any kind of directions that are there, that is also comprehensive listening, because this is an active process. So whenever you're sitting in the class, you have to take certain kinds of notes that are there. So these notes, in order for you to comprehend these notes, you will have to engage in the whole aspect of the learning process and listen to it very carefully in order to jot down those notes. Same goes for whenever you're asking for directions. So this kind of listening is a little harder than the rest, because it not only asks you to concentrate but also actively participate in the whole learning process and the whole listening process that's there. So the more you try to practice listening to comprehend, the stronger listener that you become. So it's one of the most effective kinds of listening that's there. Now comes the most important kinds of type of listening, which is critical listening. And most of us, we engage in critical listening on a daily basis. And it's something whenever you're buying something, when we're engaging in any kind of purchase, or maybe let's say you're buying a new car or an electrical appliance or an iPad. This is the kind of critical listening that you generally fall prey to. So you do a sort of a research or a background research beforehand, and then you listen to your friend or to the salesperson that's there, and you listen closely because you need to evaluate the whole process. You have to listen to the features and everything. So these are certain scenarios of critical reasoning or critical listening. So evaluating and listening to evaluate the content is critical listening. So you're not listening to gain any kind of knowledge, or you're not listening to empathize with somebody, but you're listening so that you can decide on a certain product that you have to buy. That's critical listening that's there. So when you're critically listening, you're listening to all parts of the message. You are analyzing it, you're working with whatever you have to offer. So everything that you gather, you have to use that and you have to evaluate. So whenever you are engaging in critical listening, you are critically thinking along with it. So making mental judgments on the basis of whatever you've just heard from your friend or from the salesperson or wherever. So your goal as a critical listener is to evaluate the message that is being sent, and for deciding yourself if the information that has been supplied to you is valid or worth even to note and keep and go through with the purchase that's there. That's critical listening for you guys. Most of the slides that are given on the PPT are pretty self-explanatory, apart from certain slides which I have duly explained. The certain common listening issues that have been mentioned everywhere is tuning in and out, the glazed look, then mentee-centered. So we'll just discuss that in detail here. And on average, we think approximately 4 times faster than we speak, leading to listeners tuning out, using the space to address their own thoughts, to daydream rather than staying tuned into the listener. Now that is tuning in and out. So whenever you're listening to somebody, there are aspects or there are stages when you listen to someone and you're actively listening to that person, and certain when there comes a time when your mind drifts off to somewhere else as well. So that is tuning in and out here. Those are one of the common listening issues. So let's say you've gone somewhere and you've gone for maybe like a public speaking thing, or you've gone for a stand-up comedy show or wherever, and you've put something on the stove, or maybe there's an electrical appliance or the geyser is on or something has happened, and you're supposed to close that particular thing, but that did not happen. So of course that is an issue, and that has entered your mind, and suddenly you remember, and that is when the issue arises. And the whole situation shatters, and that is when you tune in and out. So that is one of the scenarios that could happen. The glazed look. There are times when an individual will concentrate on the speaker, mentee, rather than on what is being said for whatever reason, bringing on that glazed look on the face of those listening. We can all tell when this is happening. So now there are certain times when you kind of your mind drifts off somewhere, and you know you're listening to that person, and one moment you're listening and the other moment you're just kind of staring at the person, and it's absolutely weird and awkward for the other person, because you could tell whenever that glazed look or that part is happening, and you don't come to know because you are listening to that person, but without any kind of reason or anything, you just kind of start staring at the person, and the person comes to know, but of course you will get to know that part a little later. Mentee centered, is important to remember that the person is more important than the issue discussed. Our discussion should always work around the development of the mentee and not the subject. So remembering that the person is more important than the issue discussed, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, that's there. And the discussion working around the development of the mentee and not the subject, an important one. So these are the common listening issues that one encounters or one faces in daily life, or whenever you're speaking or you're listening. Either way. Something we just discussed in the previous slide, people like being listened to, active listening. So people like being listened to as it demonstrates respect. So we discussed about the respect factor. So whenever you're listening to somebody and if you're interrupting the person in between, or you're maybe hampering that person's trains of thought, that shows that you lack certain kind of respect. Even if that is not your intention, that is something which is that's something which gets evident if you do. And as a good listener, you will show that you're attentive and that you're interested in what the speaker is saying, and interrupting will not be a good way to go, of course. So resisting the temptation to interrupt, using silence gives the speaker space. So even if you want to convey a message, or maybe there's something going on which is absolutely urgent, you can't really disturb the person's flow of thoughts and maybe give out any kind of feedback that's there. So using silence gives the speaker space and time to think about, construct, and say what they intend to or what they mean to say. Encouraging the speaker to explore their thoughts, make it clear that you are interested in helping them to develop their thoughts and ideas. Pretty self-explanatory. We'll move on to the next slide. Now, of course, we've just spoken about why or how we communicate, and why effective communication is absolutely necessary, or why it's important. So after the whole basics of communication aspect, now we will go ahead and we will improvise the skills by identifying the strengths and the practices and developing those areas. So one can absolutely start by asking a close friend or colleague for constructive criticism, practicing improving communication habits, which will happen if you try to impart more of the listening skills aspect, attending communication skills workshop or classes, seeking opportunities to communicate. Now that there are always opportunities to communicate, that's one way to go. Practicing improving communication habit, that can happen at home also, if you speak with your parents or you speak with your siblings, and there's so many times when they ask why you've come late and everything, and you've got an excuse ready. So rather than doing that, listen to their aspect or their side of the story and then give them a reply. That's one way to go. And asking a close friend or colleague for constructive criticism, this I think is the most crucial of all, because this helps you in empathic listening as well as a critical part also. Then attending communication skill workshops or classes, that can help in the public speaking aspect as well. Plus, will definitely improve on the listening section. Perfect. We'll move on to the next slide. Active listening, another great habit. Okay, so active listener will notice any misconceptions or prejudices there may be. The active listener will be skillful in reflecting back what the speaker has said. So a very common example of active listening is whenever we teach in the classes, and we see a couple of students chit chatting and everything, and that's when they ask you, what we currently were going forward with, or what we just said. And that is a common question I'm sure every teacher asks most of the students whenever they're not paying attention. So that shows the active listening status, and that's one example or one scenario that can be talked about here. So this helps clarify understanding and lets the speaker know that you're focusing on what they mean. So perfect for them to decode if you're listening or not. So this is a common tool used by the teachers and a lot of professors around everywhere. So your school teachers, so from right from the starting till the very end, all your professors and everybody use the same practice. They will throw a chalk at you, or they will try to get your attention, and that's when they'll ask whatever was going on in the class, and if you're able to answer, you okay, or otherwise you get some kind of punishment. So that's one scenario. So this helps clarifying understanding, and lets the speaker know that you're focusing on what they mean. So a very effective tool for teachers and professors all around. This also helps the speakers clarify complex thinking and provides an opportunity for them to elaborate. So this also helps in one more thing that's there, which is your effective listening. So what generally happens is, hello. So what generally happens is, whenever you want to go ahead and there might be certain things which you're not sure of, or you might have forgotten while you were elaborating on the whole topic. So these, whenever you sort of discuss something with the audience, new thoughts come in, and that's when. But this is something which has to happen in accordance with the speaker itself. So giving the speaker the opportunity to elaborate on whatever complex thinking on them is going on in their mind. So when you reflect back, it enables the speaker to confirm or correct your understanding. Mirroring what the speaker has said and using the same words is helpful. So make sure you use the same kind of words that the speaker has used, and mirroring helps in the speaker to confirm and understand what you're trying to talk about and what you're saying, and your train of thoughts get repeated, and mirroring absolutely holds significant value in the whole listening as well as speaking process. Paying attention now for the part of the summary as to the whole lecture, what it was about. So paying attention, non-verbal, verbal, allowing people to finish, being aware of body language or all aspects of good listeners, checking, understanding, paraphrasing, summarizing, reflecting back on the words, allowing for silence, don't rush in or interrupt, allow reflection to take place. So all the tips, suggestions, everything that one needs in order to become a good listener, they're all enlisted there. Encouraging exploration. So tell me more about it. Makes it clear that you want to support the person in reflecting and understanding of the whole situation, which is very important. So to summarize the whole thing, it's very important for one to be an effective listener. Why? Because it's an imperative skill for the employees and managers. It cannot be overemphasized, guys. Everything done in the workplace involves two-place communication, speaking and listening. Two-way communication is absolutely critical in the way it impacts efficiency and effectiveness. That is, when all members of a team are able to listen as well as speak efficiently, they're most likely to perform the best. So it is not just about understanding of what is being said, or not just about what the person is absolutely saying, but it is mostly about effective communication. If you were to ask to define, effective communication is all about understanding what is being said, not just about who says it. It doesn't matter if there is no distinction here, but rather the understanding part is the one that holds the utmost value. I hope I've made myself clear, and thank you. Important topic to be noted here would be the certain approaches for active listening, useful phrases for active listening, common listening issues that are there, types of listeners, which we've discussed in most of the slides, blocks or blockages to effective listening, negative listening habits one should avoid, tips and suggestions on how to improve listening, and SOLER approach, or the solar approach that we've discussed. There are certain references which are given here, and for you to check out in case you want to read more about listening skills, even communication for that matter. There's a notable author and a public speaker, Nancy Klein, and she's written a book called Time to Think. And you can even check the website, so the details are mentioned here. So since you once you click on the link, you'll be redirected to the website that's there. Then there's another by What Employers Want, the Work Skills Handbook by Karen Holmes. The publication date was 2012. Then C. Meister, GNC Meister, and Carrie Williards, the 2020 Workplace, which enlists the same the importance and the effectiveness of good listening and communication. Then by Daniel H. Pink, it's a publication in 2011, The Whole New Mind Drive. Then there are daily current updates, newspapers, and videos, and interviews, and so many YouTube lectures, which can even be, we can even share the links, direct links to the same, in case that is required. Thank you, guys. Okay, bye, guys. Thank you. Hope this finds you in good health. Have a great day. And I hope that you were able to understand the whole concept and topic, um, as far as listening skills are concerned. Thank you.